We're playing Snake in Runescape, moving around the map, one chunk at a time. Every hour, the snake is going to move, and if we complete all the challenges available to us, the snake is going to grow. Welcome to SnakeScape. Last time on SnakeScape, we created a new account, stole money from the citizens of Lumbridge, got way too stressed out getting 15 woodcutting and firemaking, and died in a stupid fashion. We then did the first ever roll, and the snake moved forward. You join us back in Groats Farm. Just as I was going to start recording the B-roll for the beginning of this video, I just got a frog random, which means I got a frog token. Now, as the timer isn't running, I'm not allowed to make any progress, so I'm going to have to drop this on the ground, which is a bit unfortunate as we are heading kind of towards a Varrock, but I'm sure there'll be more opportunities to get them. Anyway, back to the B-roll. Welcome back. We've just come from Lumbridge, where we were able to obtain a bunch of items which we can put to use now in our second chunk, Groats Farm. You probably know this chunk if you have a free-to-play Iron Man, because the chickens and the cows here are really good for the early melee training that you need to do. There's nothing specifically unique about this chunk, as everything that's in this chunk that isn't the quests can be completed elsewhere. So the plan of action is going to be to complete the tasks inside this chunk in quote-unquote uniqueness order. The most unique thing that this chunk has is the farmer NPC and the farming patch, which aren't that common for other chunks around here. So we're going to do the tasks related to them first. From the gardener, we need to get gardening boots, which is a unique drop at the 1 in 64 drop rate. As well as this, we're going to rake the farming patch, which only has a level 1 farming requirement, so it'll be nice and easy. The other tasks which we'll potentially work towards, the 30 firemaking and 30 woodcutting that we're going to need to burn and chop willow logs, and the 48 cooking required to churn cheese. So how I'm going to go about this is I'm going to kill the chickens to gain some food, cook the food on the fireplace, then with that food try and kill the farmer as much as I can, and then rinse and repeat. If there's a point where I'm too low on health and I don't want to attack the chickens, I'll go and do some quick wood cutting just until my health recovers. So luckily this chunk is a lot simpler than our first one, so we'll just get to it. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to light these oak logs that are sitting in my inventory, because I don't want to be carrying them around when I have to do the rest of the tasks that are inside this chunk. So I'm just going to get these out of my inventory as soon as I can. If you're wondering why I'm burning these logs as opposed to fletching them, it's because in this chunk there is the woodcutting and firemaking requirement, so I'm going to work towards it. I don't really ever want to work towards something that's outside of the chunk. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to trade the farmer up here for a rake. How much is a rake? 6 points, perfect. So this is going to tick off one of the tasks that we need to do, is we just need to rake this. And once that's done, we can drop this rake and that'll be kind of farming done for now. Cool, now we've completed that, we can drop the rake, drop these weeds, and move on to killing some chickens. I'm just going to swap over to strength XP, try and get the strength levels up to maybe hopefully about 10 by the end of this chunk, but any strength level is going to help really. A commenter on episode 1 named Scott Gallery pointed out that I didn't actually pick up a single bone of any of the things that I killed in the first episode. So I missed out on a bit of prayer XP that I should have gotten. So now I'm going to bury these bones and, hopefully we can get maybe 1 or 2 prayer levels in this hour. I'm also going to be keeping a hold of the feathers that I get during this, just because I'll then be able to turn them into unfinished arrows, which will be quite useful for fletching XP. It's so much nicer doing this in a members world. In free-to-play worlds, there's normally at least 3 or 4 bots who are trying to kill the chickens as well. So this is the last chicken before I'm going to cook all of these raw chickens and then try to kill some farmers. Some of the first cooking experience on the account. I kind of forgot that we're going to burn most of the chickens that we're going to start cooking. So now that I have half an inventory of cooked chicken, I'm going to start attacking the farmer and just see how many kills I can get, or how many chickens it's going to take to get a single kill, because this is going to be painfully slow at the beginning. First kill went a lot faster than I expected it to, so hopefully we'll be able to kill maybe 10, 20 of these farmers in the chunk. I've only needed to eat 2 chickens so far, so we're on track for something good. It's funny, because the farmers are considered too high of a combat level, I can't actually change my left click to attack, which is a bit annoying, because accidentally trying to pickpocket them instead. And while I wait for farmers to respawn, I'm just going to smack chickens. Oh, the first 2. Now that we're 5 strength, we can actually hit 2, so hopefully the kills will go a little bit quicker, because they have been a bit painful. I've been here for, what, 5-ish minutes, and I've killed 4 farmers so far. The bucket drop, I don't know whether it's going to be useful, but I might as well just keep it on me for now. And the first seed drop from a farmer. I'm going to try keep maybe a few of these on me, but they will be one of the things that I will drop first if my inventory starts to get a bit too full. So I just got my first clue scroll from a farmer. Now, I didn't pick up the other one that I dropped in the first episode just because it happened literally just before I died. So I didn't get a chance to check what it was. But for this one, might as well just see if we can do it. Speak to Reldo on the strange device. I don't think I'll be able to do this for quite some time, so I'm going to drop it. While I'm doing this, I just wanted to clarify what I meant by me being able to do tasks that don't produce meaningful progress after the timer is finished. What I meant by this is I don't want to get in a situation where the timer's finished and I still have a load of rubbish in my inventory or there's a grave which I need to pick up. So I'm not going to count them as meaningful progress. So if the timer is stopped, I can still go and do them. Now, if they happen in the middle of the timer, so I want to go and act as the bank when I've got 30 minutes remaining, the time's still going to tick down. It's only once at the end when the timer has finished. Now that I'm out of cooked food, I'm going to go back to killing chickens just for a minute to get some more. I don't want a repeat of episode 1 happening. No, 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 I misclicked. Please don't hurt me. So I screwed up by aggroing the farmer, so I'm just going to cook some chicken quickly so then I can actually fight him. Now that we're just coming up on 30 minutes, I've only been able to kill 13 farmers so far. So we're only killing maybe 1 every 2.5 minutes, which is not that great. So if we're going to get the gardening boots, they're going to be quite under drop rate. I think I'm also going to take the executive decision now to just drop these. I need more inventory space. The more inventory space I can have, the more chickens I can hold, the faster hopefully I can kill farmers. And there is level 10 strength. So now I'm going to swap over to defense, just so then I can try and survive a bit better against these farmers. The SnakeScape is very hopeless at actually cooking. So over half of these are turning to burnt chickens, which is really annoying as time is of the essence. Come on, man. Just give me the gardening boots, please. Well, the other thing they do drop, which technically is a task for this chunk, is the bronze med helm, which is a shared item. So it's on lots of drop tables, so it's not specific to this chunk. Oh, what? Okay, I just got another frog random. That's so weird. It must have been just over an hour since I recorded the B-roll for the beginning of the video. And that's a frog token. I'm actually going to keep that. Of all the things that are kind of random crap that I've gotten from this chunk, I'm probably going to just hold on to it as we are heading in the Varrock direction. If the snake turns around or something, I might drop it, but it's nice to hold on to because it could be an XP lamp. So I'm recording this on the day that Jagex has just released the run energy changes, and oh my god is it so nice. It's almost as if they heard my calls for help in the first episode. I'm going to take full credit for it. You're welcome, guys. So if you didn't know, Jagex just changed the game so that you now regen run energy much faster at lower levels, and your agility level actually affects how long it takes before you lose 1 energy. It's beautiful. My run energy is basically not going down, because in the time it takes me to kill one of these farmers, it just regens from what it takes to run outside to kill a chicken and run back in. And this is my 20th farmer. So we're almost about a third to drop rate. So, please spoon me. No, never lucky. And nice. Level 10 combat. So it's just a nice little milestone. I didn't even notice, but that was also total level 100, which is really nice. So while I'm doing this, I'm thinking of the next few chunks that we're going to have. So I'd quite like to leave this chunk with a bunch of food, just in case there's something that we're going to need to kill. So we can get a couple of kills before needing to find another food source. So just for completeness sake, I'm going to quickly run over and kill a cow. Just because I want to make sure that I've gotten everything from all the creatures in this chunk. One little fun fact is that cows are actually immune to poison. And this isn't intentional. It's to do with a bug with them saying moo. Apparently it nullifies them taking poison somehow in some very, very old spaghetti code of Runescape. I found that out in an alien food video where he ran up to a cow, did the spell which lets you see the weaknesses and resistances of creatures, and found out that it had randomly a 100% poison weakness. And now I've just killed my 30th farmer, so 2 more and then we'll be at half the drop rate. With only 4 minutes remaining, the chances are very slim that we're going to get this. Hey, and defense level 10. Very nice. So I think I'm going to swap back over to attack to get that up to 10, then we can have nice round melee stats. And this here is the 32nd farmer. I think this is going to be the last farmer I kill, just so I can spend the rest of the time going and picking up chicken and cooking it to get ready for the next chunks. And we don't get it. That's a bit of a shame. Oh well, we'll have to move on. I'm going to just fill up my inventory with chicken, get it cooked up, and yeah, then in 2 minutes we will be ready to roll. Oh, another condition that kind of becomes relevant now is that I'm going to allow myself to finish whatever action I'm doing when the timer runs out. So if I'm in the middle of attacking something or in the middle of doing something like an agility course, then I will let myself finish it once the timer has run out. This is also probably going to have to apply to bosses, just because it's going to be a bit infeasible to, for instance, do an inferno within 1 hour with the kind of gear that I'm going to have when I get there. And by action, I mean like individual action. So I can't start a whole cooking inventory just before the chunk is done. This should line up perfectly. And done. Cool. That was a significantly more chill experience than the first chunk, I'll tell you that. The fact that the only chunk task that we could do was to rake the farming patch is a bit underwhelming, but I feel like we achieved a lot. So let's jump into the chunk picker and see where we're going next. The snake is facing north, and because we're stuck to the right hand side of the river, we can only move forward or right. If we were to go right, because of the fence that locks us in from the desert, we're only going to have access to this tiny little area here, which has literally nothing to do in it. So I'm going to take an executive decision and say, to save 1 roll, if we roll here, we'd have to roll straight north anyway. So I'm going to make this unrollable and make this rollable. We're going to go right and then straight north again. So for both of these chunks, depending on which one we roll, the snake's going to be facing north, because it's going to either move forward or moved right and then immediately turned left again to get out of this tiny little area. The only task we were able to complete was to rake the farming patch, as we weren't able to get the drop from the gardener. The left hand chunk has a lot more to do in it than the right hand chunk, just because it has about 10 different skills that we could train. As if we were going to go to the right hand chunk, we'd only have 1 diary quest to do and a 1 in 64 drop to gain from the giant rats that sit around the mine. And with that, there's nothing else left to do other than to roll. So let's just get to it. The South Varrock Gate. So we're going to the left of the 2. This has a lot more to do in it than the other chunk. I've got to unclick this one and we can calculate the tasks. We have access to section 1 as section 3 is on the other side of the river, and section 2 requires an agility shortcut, which I'm pretty sure I don't have the level for. So let's just jump in and have a look around. Back in the game, ready to move to our new home. This is the chunk boundary. We'll be able to walk through here to get up there. Without further ado, we'll unlock this and lock this and move into our new chunk of South Varrock. And we get a load of new music tracks for being here, which is super cool. While I'm running around, I'm going to be really wary of these dark wizards. Because my combat level is so low, they're still going to be aggressive, which I don't particularly feel like dying and having to run all the way back here again. So the snake has moved forward again, which means we're now in the South Varrock chunk. This chunk is home to the Demon Circle, which is required in the Demon Slayer quest, and the Phoenix Hideout for the Shield of Arav quest. Of course, we won't be able to do either of those as the quests start elsewhere, but first of all we're going to focus on the thing that's unique to this chunk. There's a diary task here, which is to give the dog a bone. We need to get a bone from killing any of the creatures inside this chunk, And then hopefully the stray dog, which normally walks around Varrock, will come into this chunk and we can give it a bone to get the diary task. This isn't too important to complete as it can be completed in the entirety of the Varrock area, but it's something to bear in mind. Another thing that's unique to this chunk is the evil wizards that stand around the demon circle. Now these have a few drops that I should be able to get, but the problem is they're too high of a combat level, so I don't think it's going to be feasible to kill any until I get a bit more food. I have the chicken from the last chunk, but I don't think it's going to last us more than a couple of kills. Because this chunk has so many different skill tasks, we can take our pick from whatever we want to do. A few of the skill tasks are a bit memey, for instance the 15 smithing requirement for this chunk, which requires you to kill guards for the bronze and iron ore they drop, and then superheat them using the runes which the wizards drop. So I don't think I'm going to try do that. The most feasible things to train here are going to be the thieving requirement to get to 40 to pickpocket a guard, the woodcutting requirement to cut the yew tree in this chunk, and the fletching requirement, which is 72 to fletch a yew shield. So the plan of action is going to be as follows. I'm going to pick up a bone in case the dog comes around so I can complete the diary task. I'm then going to use my chicken fighting some of the dark wizards to see if I can get a few kills, and once they're up I'm going to go to pickpocketing men so I can get a bit more money and get my thieving level up. Once I'm on low HP, I'll then go back to woodcutting, and I'll turn any of the logs that I get into arrow shafts so that I can carry them around with me. I could turn them into bows for more XP, but then I'd have to drop them on the ground, which I don't particularly want to do. Then once my health is back up, I'll go back to pickpocketing the men. Let's get to it. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do, let's run up. I need to get a bone from somewhere. Actually, I think these sheep here are probably going to be the best bet. We can get into this field. I'm going to quickly kill one of these sheep to get a bone, so then we have one ready for when the dog comes into the chunk. Let's run up and have a quick look to see if the stray dog is anywhere nearby. No, no, ow. No, that's exactly why I don't want to go anywhere near them. Okay, does this count as giving the dog a bone? Nothing interesting. Okay, so we need to actually find the stray dog. That's the dog that he gets from the Christmas event. So we need to see if we can spot the stray dog anywhere near here. The mugger has attacked me. I think I will be able to take him on, so I'm just going to quickly kill him, get a bit of XP. As I couldn't see the stray dog, I don't really want to world hop to get it, so I'm just going to move on to killing a couple of these low-level dark wizards. See if I can bait any over. Ouch, these guys have got serious hands. These two are constantly hitting 2s on me. I think I was right earlier saying that this would be a bit infeasible, because I've already used over half my chicken before just killing one of them. The mind runes I think I will take. Oh no, run, run, run. I took the mind runes off the floor just in case we end up with the shop around here which sells runes so we can cast the wind strike, but I don't think they're going to be that much more useful other than that. So that was a failure getting the dark robes, but I'm just going to move on to pickpocketing. I don't think I'm going to try to kill any more of them. I was way too weak for it. 21 coin pouches, that's not too bad. The mugger is standing right outside, so I'm going to eat this and try and sprint past him. Hopefully he doesn't kill me. Just these cabbages here as a food. So maybe I could do that and keep pickpocketing. But I think I'm just going to move on to a bit of chopping trees. Woodcutting is definitely one of the nicest skills in the game. So super chill. So having thought about it a little bit more, I'm going to drop this bucket and this hammer. The bucket's only useful if we're doing cooking and don't have access to a bucket to put water in to make dough. And the hammer's only going to be useful for smithing. So I don't think they're very useful right now. So I'll just drop them on the ground. Same thing goes for these shears, as they were just a requirement for the sheep. Now that we're full inventory, going to turn these into arrow shot. Oh, or not, guess I'm going to just burn them then. I'll run over to the normal trees to then fletch those instead. Ah, it's a stray dog. So we could go and give the dog a bone. Perfect. No, 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 I buried the bones. No. Oh my god. This dude should still follow me. So I'm going to run around to kill this sheep. Oh my goodness, this is a mess. No, no. Ugh. Well, at least while I'm running, I can do some fletching. What? Not able to kill... Where's the ram? Where on earth is the ram? Ram. Cool. I really hope the stray dog is still there after I've done this. If it's not, that's going to be very tragic. to swap left click to use. Mr. Mage, leave me alone. Use bones on the dog. And there is the diary task. Nice. Which means something actually unique to this chunk ticked off. I'm actually going to quickly use up these feathers, just because it's going to be some quite good fletching XP, and it'll get me closer to 15 much faster than just chopping logs. You know, just for all time's sake, this is should be 20 fire making. I just saw that we were like 10 XP away, so I thought might as well get the first 20 on the account. I'm just going to quickly go for 20 wood cutting, and because my health is at full, I'll run around and do some more pickpocketing. Last tree for 20 wood cutting, and then I'll fletch these up and run around for the thieving. These dudes are so annoying. Like, I don't even need that much. I need just a few more levels of combat and then these guys won't be aggressive. But there's nothing really to train on around here, so I guess I'm just going to put up with it. I'm actually going to pick up some of these cabbages, so then I should be able to do a little bit more thieving before I have to run away because my health is too low. Man, just screw off. It's so annoying when I'm trying to pickpocket the man. Ah, why did the mugger spawn here? Actually, you know what? Mugger, if I do this, will the mugger follow me inside the house? No, he won't. Some rope. Huh. Again, I'm going to keep that on me. Might be useful. Come on, man. Please just go inside. Or something. Cabbages are such an awful food, but they're the only thing I have available to me at the moment. So it's better than nothing, I guess. Can this dude just please go back inside so the mugger doesn't come over? Dude, while I'm distracting him, you go inside, and then we can close the door, and then I can steal all of your money. Just, like, please. This mugger spawn is, like, just over here. So every time it respawns, it's just going to run back up to me and start hitting me again. These are valuable hit points that could be used on pickpocketing, but I'm having to use to fight this mugger. Okay, you know what? I'm going to give up for now. We're getting at least a little bit of a cash stack from this pickpocketing, but I'm going to run over and do a bit more wood cutting. Until we get to the wood longbow, there's no point making anything other than arrow shafts anyway. And even when we do get there, I don't know whether it's going to be worth it, because dropping all of them is just wasting extra fletching XP I could get if I got more feathers. Oh, and we have another random event. Flipper. Let me just finish this and then I'll go do this. And I got all of the music tracks from all of the random events because this is the first one that actually teleports me somewhere. If I remember correctly, this one only gives you noted gems as rewards. Oh, emeralds. I'll hold on to these. Because Varrock has 2 banks, we should have quite a high chance of hitting at least one of them, or the Grand Exchange. We should have a high chance of being able to put them away. Oh my god, that just hit a 6. Holy crap. I'm lucky to be alive. I only have 7 HP. So another one would have just actually probably killed me. So once I've killed this mugger, I have a plan. I'm going to kill this man and hope that he respawns back inside his house so that I don't have to deal with this mugger being out here anymore. If that's the case, then I'll do a bit more pickpocketing. If not, I think I'm going to have to give up on it and just focus on fletching. Please respawn back inside of here. Yes, thank goodness. And that is level 10 thieving. You might have noticed in the last chunk that pickpocketing a farmer was actually available to us, but it required 10 thieving to get to. Now, this didn't come up as a requirement on the chunk picker, and that's kind of by design, because it doesn't know that I had the ability to train thieving, and that other chunks around, when the snake is moving, will have the ability to train thieving. Now, you can change this by setting the level that the chunk picker thinks you are, all the way up to like 99, so it shows all skill abilities, and I don't really know whether I want to do this or not. What I'm going to do is I'm going to consider a chunk completed if I've been able to complete everything that's currently shown on the chunk picker when I go through it. I'm obviously not going to do this if I'm only have access to partial chunks. So for instance, if I had gone through that little corner going right as opposed to going straight forward on the last roll, I wouldn't count it as completed because there's obviously more to do. But I think that I might leave it such that if I complete a chunk, complete a load of other requirements for the chunk, but there is 1 or 2 extra skill requirements that the chunk picker isn't picking up, but I will be able to get elsewhere, I think it's fair game to consider the rest of that chunk completed, and then I can increase the length of the snake. But we'll play it by ear as we go around different chunks. I'll have a look and see if there's much left. The same thing kind of applied for Lumbridge and for, well, even this chunk. There are later quests which still require you to go and come back to Lumbridge to talk to someone for. And I'm definitely not going to count that. Because, for instance, this one more favour quest takes you literally all around the map. So if I had to not increase the length of the snake for that, then it means that loads of chunks are going to be ruled out. But let me know what you think. I think this is a kind of fair line to take, but I would love to see your opinions if you have any. So now there's only 15 minutes left, I think I'm just going to spend the rest of this time woodcutting and fletching. I got to level 10, which will let me pickpocket a farmer next time we come to that in a chunk, and 40 is really far off. The mugger makes it really annoying to trade in this chunk, so I'm just going to leave it for now, and try and get my fletching as high as possible. Another thing which I didn't mention earlier is that this chunk technically leads to Puro Puro through the wheat field, but of course, as I have no hunter, and there's no way of training hunter, it's not a requirement to actually go in there. Because that would just require me to world hop until this is the portal to Puro Puro, and that's kind of just a waste of time. Looking forward to the chunks that are around here that we could potentially roll, there's nothing actually specific that I should bring with me. So I think I'm just going to fill my inventory with logs so that I can fletch them when I start there as I'm running around. 25 woodcutting literally means nothing other than having a nice round number. It's very annoying that mugger being there. I would have really preferred to have gotten a few more thieving levels, but it is what it is, so I guess I'm going to have to just put up with doing some more woodcutting and fletching. Just under 1 minute remaining, so I'm going to quickly try and get as many logs in my inventory as possible before time's up. And that's it. So no more actions. Let's jump into the chunk picker and see where we're going next. Right, the snake is currently facing north because we've just come from Groats Farm. So we can turn forward, which heads into the centre of Varrock, left, which follows the River Lum, or right, which takes us to the southeast Varrock mine. Now, out of the three of these, I think I want to go north. It'll be the first access for a bank that we've had in these last three chunks, and there's a lot to do in here. Whereas, if we were to go left, it takes us past the Champions Guild, which we can't get into because we need 32 quest points, which will just keep us following the River Lum, because there won't be anywhere else we can go other than turning right, as we don't have the agility to get over the river. If we go right, we will end up in the mine. Now, this won't come up as a requirement because I haven't got a pickaxe and I haven't had any way of getting a pickaxe yet. So I'm just going to need to be able to kill the goblins, I believe, that are around here that have a drop. If we do go this way, it means we have kind of a 2/3 chance of going up towards the wilderness. I'm kind of scared of the wilderness. The wilderness will be nice because all of these chunks have nothing to do. It's always a bit nerve-wracking if we're going to end up in there. I don't know when we're going to end up coming out. If we end up going right, we could potentially turn right again and go down into the desert, which, as I explained in the very first chunk, we could end up going down to these chunks which have absolutely nothing in them, which would be really good because then we could unlock these and end up with a longer snake. But yeah, there's not really much more to do, I guess, so let's just roll. Oh no. There is one thing left to do. I need to actually tick off the only thing that we were able to do in this chunk, which is to complete the Varrock diary. So let's just roll. And we rolled right towards the East Varrock mine. Okay, we're going to take this away, get rid of these. Now, when we're here, the snake is now facing right, so we can turn left, forward, or south. Let's calculate the tasks. So for the first time, we can actually take some choices about the sections we go into. Following the logic from the first episode, where we go to this section which has seemingly most stuff to do, we're going to go into section 1, which has the mine and the trees and the access down to the desert. So we'll be able to chop oak logs, which we're already ready to do, obtain a bronze scimitar, which is a drop from the goblins that are around the mine, and the red cape, which is also a drop from the goblins. So I guess we're going to spend this entire chunk just killing goblins and probably chopping oak logs. Let's jump in the game and move to our new chunk. And here we are, right at the edge of the chunk. So if I go in here and close this and open this one up, we enter the East Varrock mine. Now, there's not that much here, I don't think. There are the goblins, which spawn somewhere. We're going to have to kill a bunch of those. So I'm going to save this chunk and the next few chunks for the next episode. Hopefully you've enjoyed this. The pace is going to increase a little bit as we keep going, just because there's going to be less to do in each new chunk. If you have liked this video, a like would be really appreciated and a subscription would be amazing. But that's all I really have for today. So thank you for watching.